This is my property. You are trespassing onto my property. I'm asking you to get out of my car. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Horror Stories. This is Horror Story number 9, and this is going to be titled, He Broke Into My Car. Today I'm coming at you with bare face and workout gear because I'm trying to convince myself to get a workout in today, so if I just wake up and put on workout gear, hopefully it'll happen. So let's hop right into the story. So I was talking to this guy. I had actually been talking to him for a while. I've talked about him previously. He was the guy who tried to convince me to be his girlfriend when we went to the casino. So if you haven't seen that story, go back and watch that. Y'all, my dog decided that he wanted to sit under me while I filmed today, so if you see him peeking up, just ignore it. So this was after me and this guy decided to call it quits. It was just a very toxic relationship. We were always arguing, and there was always an issue. But we decided to call it quits. Maybe a week or two after we actually decided to call it quits, he texted me and was like, hey, do you want to go to yoga and then go grab some breakfast? So I'm really into yoga and fitness and like health, so I agreed to go even though I knew like we really didn't end in a good place. I really didn't need to be around him. So after yoga, we ended up going to this restaurant called Barnaby's. We ended up going to Barnaby's and having lunch. Food was actually really, really good, and then the check came. So when the check came, I expected him to pick it up because for one, you invited me out to this date, to this yoga and lunch thing. I would not have hit you up or been out had you not. I wouldn't have gone there had you not asked me to go. And that's my rule for dates. If you ask me on a date, I assume you're paying. Why are you going to ask me to go somewhere and then force me to pay? Like, no, don't ask me to go then. If it's a mutual, we both decide to go on a date, I can understand splitting. But you ask me somewhere, I'm going to expect that you pay. So the check comes and it's just sitting on the table. We're still kind of having conversation, just whatever. And he starts asking me what went wrong in the relationship. And I just start telling him, like, these are the things I didn't like it just didn't work out for me. And I guess the way I said it to him came off like aggressive, like as if I was saying bad things about him. But he asked me, so I was just telling him the things that I saw that made me not want to be in that relationship with him. And so then when I was like, okay, it's getting awkward, like let's just pay and leave, he's like,
you're going to sit here and say all this stuff about me and I'm going to pay this tab, you're going to pay this tab. I'm not paying for this.
Excuse me, what? First of all, you asked me here, and second of all, you asked me to tell you what I didn't like in the relationship. So how are you gonna then get mad and be upset? And that's not even the worst of it. When I tell you, this was like the most ghetto moment of my life. We had like a full-fledged argument and yelling. I was like, I'm not paying this bill. You're being absolutely ridiculous. I don't even mind paying a bill. Like, it's not even that big deal. It wasn't that much money. Like, it's not even a big deal. I'm a big girl. I got a job. I got my own money. However, it's the principle of the fact that you invited me out. I didn't reach out to you. You invited me out, you should be paying. So we're going back and forth in this restaurant, kind of pushing this tab back and forth between each other. People are starting to look at us crazy. Actually, people started leaving the restaurant. Like, I just felt so bad. Our waitress came over and asked us if everything was okay, and like basically was trying to like say, get the fuck out of here with all y'all's rashery. So we were like, okay. So we ended up just splitting the bill. And at that point, now I'm just pissed. Like, I am heated. I don't want to talk to him. And rewinding a little bit, I forgot to tell y'all, when we decided to go to Black Swan and to the restaurant, he came to me because he was going to pick me up. But then when he got here, he was like, hey, can you drive? And I was like, I guess since you drove to me, I can drive. But it's like, knowing that we were no longer in a relationship, we should have not tried to be in one vehicle or one space at all like that. I should have met him there. So when he came to me, he actually put some of his work stuff on my, like, his laptop or his iPad on my kitchen counter, and before we ended up going to do what we were going to do. So obviously at the end, after we're arguing, I'm expected to drive him back and let him in my apartment. But at this point, I'm like so over him, so done with it. I knew I should have been done with it, and that I just don't want to deal with him. So and maybe I'm being childish, but I was like, you need to Uber. You can Uber back to my place. I'm not driving you back to my house. I was like, you are disrespectful. I don't want to be in a relationship. I knew I didn't want to be in a relationship. I shouldn't have come here. Like, you need to Uber. I can't be in the car with you. I don't want to drive you. And so I go to get in my car, and he almost yanks my car door off getting in my car. And I'm like, you need to get out. I'm telling you, this is my property. You are trespassing onto my property. I'm asking you to get out of my car. And he's like, I'm not getting out of your car. You're going to drive me home. And this is when he starts calling me out of my name. And I don't know what's up with men and thinking you could just say whatever. But he starts calling me out of my name, calling me the C word. I can't even say the C word. It's so disrespectful. Just calling me all sort of disrespectful names. It got so bad to the point where I got out of my car and I was sitting on the ground of my car. And I was like, I'm literally not driving you anywhere. I will be so petty. I will sit here all night on the floor by my car. Both of us will not go anywhere. I ended up FaceTiming one of my guy friends and like showing him the situation. It just got crazy. The whole time he would say stuff to me and say stuff to get me out of character. And then as soon as I would turn around to say something to him, he would start recording. So everything that he had recorded is just me looking like I'm crazy. I didn't even know what to do. So I ended up calling my mom and I was like, Mom, this man is crazy. He's like refusing to leave me. He's yelling at me, saying all these things, and he's expecting me to drive him home. My mom is just so over the situation because she knows about him and she's just like, look, just drive him to your house, get your stuff, and do not ever talk to him again. Block him, but let the situation be done. Because the more you're doing this, the more you're just going to have to be around him. So I'm like, okay, you're right. I let him get in my car, and he gets in the back seat of my car as if I'm chauffeuring him and starts cussing me out in the back of my car, telling me about me. And so I end up calling my mom back because I'm thinking if my mom's on the phone, then maybe he'll just stop talking. He'll stop going off of me. Nope, keeps going off on me. Keeps trying to tell my mom how I'm wrong. And I'm like, my mom is not going to side with you. Like, what are you doing? We end up getting back to my apartment, and I say, hey, I'm going to go get your stuff and bring it to you. I don't want you in my house. I just need my space away from you. And he was like, no, I'm coming to get my stuff. I don't want you touching my stuff. So I'm like, okay. So we get to the apartment. I was like, just wait outside the door. I'll grab your stuff. He's like, no, I don't want you touching my stuff. And like budges in my apartment. So I just hurry up and close the door. Like, I know it's petty. I just hurry up and slam the door. I grab his stuff and I throw it in the hallway. And I just close the door and lock it. I know I could have acted more maturely, but that was a toxic person. I'm glad that person is no longer in my life. But that is my story. That is it. I mean, I don't know where he's at now. I don't follow him or anything like that. So my lesson learned from this situation is once you're done with somebody, be done. There's a reason you were done. Do not go back to that. Do not entertain that. Like, it's not good. It's toxic. When you out, just be out. So I hope y'all enjoyed my story. It's crazy. All my stories are crazy. But I will see y'all back next week for Horror Story number 10.